Welcome to the Azam Sharp channel. I'm your host Mohammad Azam, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use SpaceManager framework, which is a wrapper around the Chipmunk framework to create physics-enabled Cocos2d games. So the first step is to download physics SpaceManager. Let me actually search for SpaceManager instead of SpaceManager game. It's a free framework, of course, and I think the current version is 0.7. So you can go to this website and download the SpaceManager and add it to your project, just like I have over here. Once you add it to the project, and I'll also post a link to I think there's one more thing, header or something. Let me see, and I'll post a link to the URL or to the website where they will tell you how to set up SpaceManager. But basically, you see this property header search paths, so you just have to include the path that they have provided, and I'll post a link somehow that you will be able to use that. So SpaceManager is basically a wrapper on the Chipmunk framework, and if you're familiar with the Chipmunk framework, it is to create physics-enabled apps using Cocos2d framework. Okay, so why the wrapper? Well, it makes it much more easier for us to develop physics applications because we have to write less code, and we can use Objective-C instead of C++ or C to develop our physics-enabled applications. So I've already added a smiley face, as you can see over here, and a large block which we will be using in this application. And this is just an intro. And I think it's Learning Cocos2d part 15. Okay, so if you haven't watched the previous parts, I highly recommend that you do so. So the first thing is SpaceManager. Okay, I have already defined the SpaceManager in the header file. Here we go, SpaceManager Cocos2d. So I'll just make an object which is a SpaceManager Cocos2d. And after you make an object, you can initialize the SpaceManager with the elasticity and friction. I'm just going to copy the line. There we go. So this will initialize the SpaceManager elasticity and, of course, the friction and everything else. All right. So now we have to define a shape. So I'm just going to say CP shape, and I will say ball shape basically. And I can say over here SM, which is SpaceManager, add circle. So this is the position where you are going to add, and I'm just going to say 100, 100. Mass is 25 and radius is 25. Let's add it over there. Okay, so now you can associate a sprite with a shape. So CPCC sprite. And I can simply say ball and CPCC sprite, which will be sprite with shape, and you can assign the shape, which in this case will be ball shape, and file will be smiley.png. Okay, and we can simply add that self add child, which is ball, and we can start our like the SpaceManager by saying SpaceManager start. Let's run this application and see what happens when we so basically what you see is when the application got loaded, the smiley face dropped on the screen. Let's actually do this again, because I don't know if you saw that or not, and this time we are going to say, instead of 100, let's go to 300 or maybe something like that. I don't know what's the height. Is it like 320 by 240 or something? There we go. So we can see the smiley face falling down, and it bounces a couple of times, and then it's now it's resting on the ground. So this is a pretty simple thing, right? I mean, you just added a smiley, and of course, if there are any obstacles on the screen, then the smiley will collide with those obstacles and behave as it is a circle. So what we are going to do is we are actually going to add obstacles. I'm just going to say CP shape, say block shape, and then I can simply say SM add rectangle, add wherever you want to add the rectangle. I'm just going to say let's say 100, 100. You have to give it a mass, so I'm just going to say 25. Width, I think I know the width, I think it's like 274 or something, and 45 is the height. Rotation, and rotation is in radians. Okay, so I'm just going to say 0. I don't know, 17 or something. All right, and then we have to create the sprite, CP CC sprite, and I'm just going to say block CP CC sprite and sprite with shape, block shape, and the file name in this case is, I think it is a large underscore block.png, and we can add that self add child, which is a block, and that's pretty much it. So let's run this and see what happens. Okay, so you can actually see the ball is actually behaving, you know, it's actually moving on this block, but the block is falling down and we don't really want that to happen. So it's pretty easy to fix. I'm just going to say over here static mass, so that the block doesn't fall down and it remains in the space. So now when the ball interacts with the block, and you can see it has certain you know, physics behavior going on. You might see that the ball is not completely onto the surface and it might go overboard like here. So you need to be sure that you are using the correct width and height of the block. It might not be 45, the width might not be 274, but you get the idea, right? So that's pretty much it actually. So it's very easy to get started with the SpaceManager, and I will be covering it in the future tutorials. Actually, this new series of learning Cocos2d will focus on the SpaceManager, and then we'll move on to something else. So there will be like maybe 5-6 SpaceManager tutorials, so you'll have a basic, you know, basic idea of how to use it and how easy it is to use physics effects or to enable physics effects and create physics enabled games. So I hope you like this video, and thank you very much.